Okay, it is day 521 of the grid, and I thought I would show the electric sheep kind of in action. I've just finished the lawn. As you can see, it's beautiful. You saw me basically doing that the other day for the test, but I just wanted to show you my lead. Here we are. Just taped it on here. I'm going to interrupt this and install an Anderson somewhere about here, but I just hooked it up direct at the moment just to make sure that this 25 meter lead would adequately power the lawnmower, and I didn't need to be too worried about that because boy does it grunty. So my lead goes over here to the woodshed, where it attaches with an Anderson to this Anderson connector up here. See, I've screwed that to this board here so it just stays put, and that feeds into the B shed and basically through a circuit breaker, an AC circuit breaker actually, to the 24 volt battery bank. So I've got basically a source of basically up to 20 amps, or probably 25 amps because AC breakers do trip a bit higher on DC, of 24 volts here. This is 3mm square speaker cable, basically same cable running back to the shed as what I'm using for the mower itself. The only issue I have with Anderson connectors is they don't really have any kind of cable clamping sort of arrangement, so I might actually build my own. I might bolt something, just like a bar or something, into these holes here and just sort of, you know, cable tie onto there to relieve the strain off the soldered connections. And if they do break, I hope I can pull these things apart and re-terminate them, because I haven't crimped them, I've soldered them, so I can resolder them. But I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know, there's just something kind of special about doing domestic things in a slightly different way, using like a different voltage, you know. I mean, you know, this is a heavy duty cable, and it and the mower is an electric lawnmower, and it runs off 24 volts DC, not 240 volts AC, which is just kind of neat. And as for this cable being quite heavy, that's worked out to be a real advantage actually, because you can lay the cable out as you're going a lot better, and it kind of stays where you want it. It just seems heaps easier to manipulate, so it's not in the way when you do the next row. So all up, it's a winning scenario, eh? And I would highly recommend, if anyone gets a battery lawnmower and they're upset with the performance of it, because I mean, these old Enviromowers just used a couple of 17 amp hour lead acid batteries, which were in a caddy, in a cassette or whatever you call it, that dropped into there. But of course those batteries right from day one would have been immediately overloaded by this motor, which is apparently 500 watts, although when it's not hitting the grass it's only pulling about 100, about 5 amps at 24 volts, so you know, it's not too bad. Certainly I had no problems with this cable, and my way of thinking anyway was that any voltage drop in this cable would kind of simulate the shitty little batteries in here, which it probably did, because the big batteries of course would be able to supply a much higher voltage for a lot longer, which could possibly heat the motor up a bit fast, because it was obviously never designed to be used in this fashion. But you know, a really good worthwhile mod. I think it might be difficult to do some of these newer mowers, some of these brushless ones that run off 32 volts and 56 volts and all these crazy voltages and stuff, these lithium ion ones, but these Enviromowers, yeah, handle the treatment real well. I've never been upset by cord. I've always used electric lawnmowers. I used to have my Flymo, and then of course the Beast. My dad, you know, had a hand mower, and when he finally got into a powered electric mower, it was actually electric. So I've always had cords. Yeah, when I was younger I ran over the cord a couple of times, probably one day deliberately when I was fucked off with him for making me mow the lawn. But I don't find it a hassle. So, and of course no worries about having to put fuel in it and pull started and all that carry on. Of course, got that with the generator, but not with the lawnmower at least. So it's awesome. And the nice thing, of course, about this arrangement being fully battery operated from a house battery, as it were, you can start and stop, walk away, and you know, before the Beast I always had the generator running, so there was a kind of a pressure there to keep it kind of going until I've done the lawn, because you know, you don't want to just leave the generator running and running. But anyway, that's enough. I've done my Gaylawning for fucking probably, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even a month, because around about the time of the winter solstice the grass grows real slow, which I kind of like. Now I'm off to do a bit more work on this new Beltane track, which will be ready for the 13th of June.